Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Soulful Ratchet, episode 4. This is Sister Love.
This is Cherie. Shouts out to Big Ray for coming through on the last show. He put it down, so we had to have him come through and, talk about it from a male's perspective.
Shouts out to Bay.
So we thought we'd tap a couple of loose ends. So here's some questions you should ask yourself. Are you good to yourself? Are you taking time out for yourself? And are you doing the things that you want to do? Self-love starts and ends with you, ladies. I want you guys to remember that. Think about it. Flight attendants say, put your mask on first before assisting other people, which is true. How can I help you if I can't even help myself first?
Exactly.
When you're loving yourself and putting yourself first, everything and everyone in your life benefits. True.
You true yourself?
I true.
Okay, all right.
Because I know people benefit from me when I put myself first. You dig? Shouts out to John. If your own feelings and needs are invisible to yourself, then it will end up being invisible to other people too. If you think about it, most people don't do things unless you're getting something in return. For example, if I ask a friend to pick my daughter up from school, generally most people will want some type of, money, gas money, or, something like that. But if their needs were already met, they would be doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They wouldn't necessarily be doing it with expecting something in return.
Basically, I follow that though. A lot of times, if you don't put yourself first and meet your needs first, you either do things for other people from a negative space, or you do things wanting things back to meet your needs.
Right, and just remember, putting yourself first is not a bad thing. Putting yourself first does not make you a bad person. It makes you more aware and more in tune with yourself. How can you lift others up if your foundation is shaky? How you gonna help Ebony and Jessica if you can't help yourself? So if you have yourself together, you can then be, assets to other people.
That is so true though. Because a lot of times I do stuff for people and I really don't expect anything back. And I think it's largely because I don't need anything. My needs are being met. I never thought about it in that way. Now let me tell y'all, it might get a little heavy up in here.
Hand me a tissue.
But when I thought about the podcast and about why a lot of women don't have self-love or putting self first, it's largely because of low self-esteem. In an effort to be authentic in this podcast, I wanted to take a major look at myself. I want to be able to guide people and make them comfortable in their own space and actually looking at themselves in honest eyes as well. You know what I mean? So basically, I started to take a look at myself and some of the seeds that was planted that ultimately affected my self-love. One of the things I can think of, from my earliest memories, is one of my childhood traumas. I call it a trauma. You may call it abuse. You may call it, molestation. I call it trauma because I suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. You feel me? Now, whether it was physical, emotional, or sexual, or even a combination of both, oftentimes it can lead you to feeling ashamed, tainted, guilty, just dirty. I was abused by my stepfather on a regular basis. I felt largely responsible because I remember people using this term, "Little Dorothy's so fast." Now, mind you, I'm 5'6". I have no idea what the term means. I just know it's directly related to if I'm dancing to a video, because y'all know how I used to be. Pump on the floor, pump, work it. Or I knew if I was liking a boy, or maybe if I wore something in particular or whatever. I used to like tank tops or to show my navel, something like that. I knew it was pertaining to that, but nobody ever broke it down. They just always use this word to describe me. So I would find myself when this man was touching me, or even when he was done and I'm trying to piece the thoughts as a little kid, I would often say, I wanted to do Daddy Brooks do this to me because I'm fast. Imagine. I had no meaning, nothing at all, knew what it meant. And he didn't even tell me this. He didn't even say I'm doing this because you fast. But as a little kid trying to figure out why someone would do this to me, I found myself finding reasons, and fast was the thing that came to my mind. that sure wasn't a positive thing when they said it. They didn't say it like it was a good thing. So I figured out that I, in that instance, was blaming myself. Now, I later figured out that that probably was the place that seed was actually planted to co-blame myself when someone mistreat me, undertreat me, or abuse me. So what I mean is, somebody could do you wrong, and you know damn well they was all the way wrong, but that little part of you that say, but I could have did this, or I shouldn't have did this, or I'm part of the reason. It seems like that. It's planted in me and co-blaming myself. I hope we all could look at ourselves in an honest way. That was kind of hard for me to tell the whole world and the little 200 listeners we got right now.
It's going to be 500,000.
Woo, woo!
Speaking into existence. Did you say 1.2 million?
I receive it.
Hallelujah.
Yes, honey.
Now, Dorothy just dropped some deep stuff, y'all. That was very deep. So let's talk about some things. Let's dissect that. Now, you mentioned that you blame yourself. How is that affecting you now?
I feel like I blame myself in any situation that I was mistreated or I was abused. And it does not matter if it came from a person of authority over me, a person that was my equal, like a friend or a man, in any scenario where that person could have been dead wrong. I assure you, I'm going to figure out a way where I facilitated this wrongdoing to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be anything, like a part, like maybe when I was a teenager and somebody grabbed me, maybe my shorts was too short, like just stupid stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Stupid stuff that you know, and this how you know you wrong. If it's something that you ain't gonna allow your daughter to think in terms of like that, then you know you shouldn't be thinking like that. But I just always co-blame myself.
So how did you get past that?
Girl, when I started realizing that I had nothing to do with a lot of the stupid stuff that people do out here in the world, and taking co-ownership of the wrong will let these people continue to do you wrong over and over again, instead of calling a spade and plucking a weed and getting it up out of your life. Like, because if you are co-responsible for the mistreatment, you can take that mistreatment much longer, honey.
Yep.
You would be like, well, I shouldn't have did this, and you would start altering your behavior and changing your behavior because you felt like you pretty much is your fault. You know what I mean? But when you start realizing, like, no, this nigga just dumb.
Right. He wasn't raised.
Exactly.
What was his foundation?
Exactly. Right. Like, this really is not a reflection of me. Right. It's crazy, though, because that is hand in hand with not taking anything, like, interpersonal like that anymore. Now I'm quicker to blame you solely. You know, I might blame you. I might blame who raised you.
Your mama, your daddy, your grandma.
I know one thing though, honey. It ain't me no more.
Well, good for you, boo. Good for you. That's what we doing, y'all. That's why this podcast is very important. We plucking seeds.
You call that demon out, baby.
Okay, y'all. This is our email segment. So we got our first email, and I'm, for the sake of keeping her privacy, I'm gonna just change her name. So this is from Jennifer from Chicago.
What up, Jen? No, I'm just fine.
And you guys can always email us your questions at soulfulratchet@gmail.com. If you want to send your emails in, we'll read them and give you our feedback. Okay, so she said, "Dear Cherie and Dorothy, I love the podcast and how the two of you stress the importance of self-love, self first. At 30 years old, I am finally coming out of a toxic on and off again relationship with my child's father. For the first time, I have realized that I have sacrificed my 20s for the duty of motherhood, and now I'm realizing that I've never given myself a chance to be selfish or even put my needs before everyone else. As a single mom, my question is, what are some of the ways in which I can put myself first while balancing motherhood?" Now, that's a great question. So I feel like you should get back to the roots, get back to the things that you wanted to do for yourself. So like for me, church was my foundation. I based everything off church. I feel like when I go to church, my week is better, my life is better, and everything else just kind of falls in place. So I would say get back to the one thing you love to do. So if it's not church and it's reading or yoga or an art class or sewing or knitting, whatever, get back to the things that you love to do for yourself. And I think that should be the, first step.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Jenny from the block, I got something to say. Try this, honey. Close your eyes and picture yourself. If you had your baby at whatever age you had your baby, if you had your baby at 21, go back to 21 and truly picture yourself in the path you thought you was going to take before the baby. Even before the rockhead, I hate to call him a nigga, but before the rockhead nigga that you had the baby with. Think about you when you were solo. What did Jenny want to do? Did she want to go get her master's? Did Jenny want to go and be a star? What did she want to do? Like Cherie said, maybe you wanted to go to church, but close your eyes and tell me, did you want to be an artist? What was your heart desire before it got so complex and so many moving parts got added? Then what you should do is just to devise a plan to meet those same dreams and those same goals. All of those things can still happen with your baby. So if it was that you wanted a master's, if it was that you wanted to do yoga, if it was that you wanted to do church, devise a plan to obtain those things with your baby. So in combination of going to church and doing the things that you love and taking out time for yourself and your hobbies, be it yoga, church, praying, or whatever, go back to those initial dreams that you had and what those look like. If you wanted to be an anchor, whatever. Figure out how you wanted to do those things and how you would have did it without your baby. And devise a plan to do it with your baby now.
Yeah, and I think having kids, it doesn't matter what age you had your kids, you can always incorporate them into, your life. Like I have a 16-year-old, oh my God, saying it out loud. Yeah, a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old. And I just make sure that they are first taken care of. And then, I always incorporate that.
I think another small thing to think about as far as putting self first, I don't think a woman understands how it feels to take time out to do little stuff like your hair and your nails.
A spa day.
Right. I think a small step in the right direction is planning time for yourself to do those things. They just enhance you. Like sometimes when your nails done and you look down, you be like, oh, look, I got myself together. And
your hair. I think having your hair and your nails done makes you feel like you just did something.
Right.
But taking selfies. And
we went from self-grooming to church to just getting back to your original plan. So in essence, that's how we feel like you can get back on the right track.
And I feel like motherhood will tie in with that. It's not something special you have to do, with motherhood, because I know you asked about how do you balance that, but I just think that will go hand in hand with just doing other things. And you can also incorporate, have your child go with you. Have her do mani and pedi so she'll know when she get older to, make sure she keep herself groomed and stuff.
Hopefully we help Jenny.
Okay, y'all, thanks for tuning in to Soulful Ratchet. Y'all can always email us at soulfulratchet.com.
And remember to let your soul glow.